So we're going to start with the palpations of the foot. So the first metatarsal phalangeal joint is right here. You can flex your toe for me and then extend it, and then just you can let it relax. So it'll be this one right here, and then the first metatarsal bone goes down here, and then excuse me, the first cuneiform is down here, and then the navicular will be right around, there's like this little bump on the medial side right here, so you can tell where the navicular is. And then there's the talar head is in here, and the calcaneus is at the bottom of the foot, so right back here. And then the sustentaculum tali is this little shelf right here under the medial malleolus. Let me see if I can get a good one of it. It's like right in here. And then the spring ligament goes from here to here, and that's like one of the big supporters of the arch. And then the tibialis posterior tendon goes from back here and also connects with the navicular right here. So a lot of stuff's happening at the navicular. And then the flexor digitorum longus tendon goes down here to the bottom of the foot, and it stretches to all the little toes so they can flex. And then the flexor hallucis longus tendon goes down here and attaches to right here at the big toe so the big toe can flex. And then at the bottom of the foot, at the base of the medial arch, is the medial calcaneal tubercle, so it's like right down in here. And then you have all the plantar fascia, that's all this stuff right here. And then you have sesamoid bones, which are right here, but for different people they could be in different places, but they're right there. And then on the other side, on the other side of the foot, we have the fifth metatarsal bone. And then here is the little base of that, so the cuboid will be right in here. And then the sinus tarsi, the little depression, will be right in here. And then the peroneal tubercle is going to be this little bump like right underneath the lateral malleolus right in here. And then the peroneus brevis is going to come down behind the malleolus and attach at the base of the fifth metatarsal, and the peroneus longus comes down here and attaches at the bottom of the foot between like the first metatarsal and the first cuneiform. And then we have on the top of the foot, right down here, we have the first and second cuneiforms. So it's 1, 2, 3. And then we have the dome of the talus is right in here, and the tibialis anterior tendon goes down in here. Yeah, you can see it when she inverts her foot, goes down here and connects right here. And then if she just like brings her foot up, you can see this is the peroneus tertius, and it connects at the shaft right here of the fifth metatarsal. And then we have the extensor hallucis longus, comes in here and it goes all the way to the big toe, so the big toe extends. And then the extensor digitorum longus goes down here and extends to these little toes. And the extensor digitorum brevis is like this little like muscle belly right in here. And then the dome of the talus is right in here. And that's it for palpations of the foot. Now we can move on to special tests. And for active range of motion, we're going to use a goniometer, and we're going to measure her joint movement of the first MTP joint right here. So you're going to get the fulcrum, and you're going to put it right where the joint is. So hers is like right in here, so you put that like right here. The stationary arm is going to point away towards the next joint, and this one will be the one that moves. So when she flexes, we'll move this one down. And so normal range of motion is like 35 to 45 degrees, and her flexion's at like 35 degrees, so she's within the normal range. And then you do the same thing, but you do it for extension this time. So you put the fulcrum back here, the stationary arm goes down this way, and then she'll extend her toe and bring it back. Whoa. And for her, so normal extension is 75 to 85 degrees. Hers is like 68 degrees, so she's not within the normal range. She can work on her extension. And then next we can do passive range of motion. So that's where I move the toes for her. So I'll move her big toe into extension, and then I can move it into flexion. I can do the same for all the other toes. Move all these, this one, and this one, and the little toe. And then manual muscle test. So I'll hold this joint down here for the big toe, and I'll have her extend up, and I'll restrict that. So that's really good. Then she can go down. Then you can do the foot taco, and you can just do all the other ones together. So you can go up and then go down. Okay. And then that's manual muscle testing. And then the next, these are other special tests you can do. So if I hold this, I can do the valgus test, which is like testing this way. So I'll press here. And I'm testing this little MCL right here. And so if that's like positive for pain, there could be laxity there, or you might have like sprained it. And then you can do the same thing and do the varus test. And so you go the other way, and so that could affect your LCL. This little ligament right here. So you could like sprain that too. And then you can do like a long bone compression test. So if I did this and it was positive, that could be a sign of a fracture, and you can do that to like all the toes. You just press all of them down together. And then if I find her pulse back here, and I tap her nerve down here, and there's numbness and tingling there, so that test is positive. That's Tinel's sign. And if that's positive, it's normally tarsal tunnel syndrome, so she has an impinged nerve back here. And then if we're testing for a neuroma or like a Martin's neuroma, that'll be down in here at the bottom of the foot. So you could do an intradigital neuroma test, which is where you squeeze these two together, or you can squeeze these two together, and if it's positive, there'll be like numbness and tingling, and then you know like that's a neuroma. And then you can do the intermetatarsal glide test. So that's going to be, you're going to take these and go like this, and you can do it all the way down the foot. And so this just tests for trauma to like the deep metatarsal ligaments or to the interosus ligaments. And then you can do the tarsal metatarsal glide, so that's where you get it, and you kind of move the one by itself. So you could do that to all the toes. And this one just tests if the glide is like really moving, then that means there's a lot of laxity in the ligaments. And then if you can't really like glide it at all, that means there's like joint adhesions and stuff going on like that. And you could also do the same thing to the tarsals, and so those shouldn't move. And that's the mid-tarsal glide test. So hers don't move very much, so that's good. And yeah, if that's positive and there's like an increase and like it's really moving, then that means there's laxity in the ligaments. And then if it's decreased movement, that means it's just joint adhesions again. And then there's one more, and that one involves a note card and a pen, and that's the navicular drop test. And so we'll do this one. So we'll just have her foot right here, if you want to like hang your foot off the table. So we're just gonna put this at her. We're gonna find the navicular. So right here, we're gonna put this like across here. Our navicular, so like right there, and we're like gonna mark it right here. Whoa, sorry, I marked it again. And then when she stands up, we'll see if her navicular dropped at all. So you can see like I accidentally put the little dot right there, but yeah, hers didn't drop very much, so she's fine. But if it's positive, it'll be like 10 millimeters is the measurement. And if your navicular drop more than 10 millimeters, it means your foot's like hyperpronating too much, so you got some flat feet. And so that's it for special tests. And then for the neurovascular tests, you have your L4 that comes from this way, across the patella, down to your big toe. And so if you're doing the dermatomes, you would get like a pen and go like sharp, dull, along here, and you could like go up the little pathway, but since we're doing the foot, we just stay on here. And so for L5, that one comes down this way, kind of close to the L4, and it's gonna come in between and like end right here. So you could do like dull, sharp for dermatomes, and then for the myotome, for the L4, that goes right here, that one would be ankle dorsiflexion, so you do that. And then for L5, the myotome for that one is just great toe extension. So, and then for the S2, that one's gonna come down the lateral side of the leg and connect to the 5th metatarsal. And so for that one, I would just tap along this way, dull, sharp. And then the myotome for that one is plantar flexion. And then the S2 goes behind the leg, down here to the bottom of the foot. And so you would just be like dull, sharp. And then the myotome for that one is knee flexion. So I'd have her flex her knee, bend your knee. Yes, kind of like that. And then the last thing is just the reflex testing. So for quadriceps, you would hit up here just to see if all your reflexes work. Let's see if I can get this. Went a little bit. Yeah. Achilles is kind of harder, so we'll see if I can get this one. If I don't get it in 2 tries, I'm giving up, so. Haha. So yeah, that was the Achilles reflex test. And there are 2 pulses you can find on the foot. So the first one is, I showed you in the Tinel sign test. That one is back here. So that's the tibialis posterior nerve. And then this one is the dorsal nerve that's up here. You can find it. Just kidding. I don't know why I was feeling up there. It's down here. So yeah, you can feel that one like right in here. The dorsi anterior nerve. And that is all for the foot.